from the Streamate Network, and today I am chatting with Miss Ember Snow. Ember is a multiple award-nominated adult film actress, and she is also a cam model on Streamate. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, especially with your very busy schedule. So I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem.
So, Ember, you are, as I said before, not only an adult film star, but you are also a cam model. So which came first in the whole timeline of your career? Was it the camming or was it film first?
I started with film first. Yeah, and then I found out. Well, I was working I think 3 jobs back then. So I was doing porn. I was a server, and I was a secretary. But then I left one of those jobs to focus on porn. But it wasn't as stable as I thought it would be. So I was like, oh my god, what am I going to do now? I already quit my other job, so I was like, maybe I should try camming.
Yeah.
So that's when I started with camming.
And
it was first on porn.
Okay. How long ago was that at this point?
Oh man. I started porn. Well, it will be 2 years next month.
Okay.
So, camming came after probably 3 months after, 3 months or so.
Okay.
Yeah, it was during the summer of that year.
So, did you get into camming even? How did you dabble into that?
Well, I already thought, why not? Well, actually, no. Before I started the porn industry, I did a lot of research about, the adult, the adult industry. So it's not just, in film.
Yeah.
So camming was something that I already was researching about beforehand. And it wasn't that, I knew a lot of cam girls. It was just something that I researched.
Okay, yeah, I know. It's such a prevalent thing. I have to take 1 second because you held up your hands, and it's I gotta appreciate the nails right now that's going on. Those are gorgeous. Oh my god, love it, love. Okay, we can get back to this.
It's a girl thing, guys.
Right. I love it. So at this point, you've been in the industry for a couple of years, and you have worked with the likes of some of the biggest names. Reading off the top, Hustler, Evil Angel, Digital Playground, and Browsers, just to name a few. Yeah. And you were also nominated for a number of awards for your girl, and group scenes at the upcoming AVN and XBiz Awards here in a few weeks. So, I mean, let's be real for a second. How is all of this feeling? Getting recognition from peers as well as other professionals in our industry for the work that you've done, and just how quickly things are picking up for you. How does this all feel, and where's your mind at right now?
It feels crazy good. It feels crazy good because I actually thought that I'm one of the underrated adult performers, but getting some kind of recognition, even if it's just a group scene, is something that I appreciate. Growing up, I don't usually win a lot of things, so even getting some nominations is wow, God. Well, hopefully someday, I'll have some more.
Well, and I mean, also considering the incredible pool of talent these days, and how quickly people are just seemingly pouring in to our industry, right? Just to get a platform to have your name out there a little bit more. Do you feel like working with these companies has definitely helped to set the trajectory of your career at this point?
Oh, definitely. Because these companies have a lot of subscribers, and they promote it a lot more. It's giving me some kind of exposure. So I feel like the more I work with these companies, the more exposure I get. So it would be good to work more with them, and the kind of work that they do is a fucking amazing. I didn't start with them right off the bat. Like, I was starting with smaller companies that you probably haven't even heard of. And a lot of those porn scenes are actually really popular on Pornhub. And when guys research me on Pornhub, I'm like, oh my god, you guys. Like, probably a couple of my scenes that I really like are on there, but the rest are just like, you need to go somewhere else. You need to go somewhere else.
Right. You know, those diehard fans will always find those scenes, though, right?
Oh, yeah, I hope so. I want them to see the good shit.
Well, I mean, 2 years, it's like 2 years in anyone's mind. 2 years, it's like, okay, that's pretty quick for all of this to be happening, but does it feel like that for you? You know, because I know it takes an incredible amount of work and perseverance and consistency. So has it been as easy as some people think, like you're just walking into porn?
Oh, no, it's not. I mean, it doesn't even feel like it's been 2 years, honestly. I feel like I just started yesterday. But it's not easy, because building your brand and getting yourself out there does take a lot of perseverance. Like, I know I have an agent, but sometimes I have to like call them or text them and say, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, check in. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I try not to do that as much. If porn bookings come, because I always have camming. It's just that if I feel like if I do more porn, again, the more visibility there is, and if there are going to be more fans discovering me, because I still get some guys on Streamate who say, oh, you're a porn star? Like, you're a real porn star? And I'm like, well, I wouldn't really call myself a star, but, you know, I star in porn.
So you have like a whole fan base, a whole segment of your fan base then that's like, they know you from cam, and like they're not even in the know that you're on film as well.
Oh, yeah. There are some people on Streamate who just discovered me and like, oh, you're hot. And then there are some guys who come in, oh, I just watched this scene of yours. And then they're like, oh, wait, she's a porn star?
So,
oh, shit, I froze.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Damn you, technology. I know, I hate using Skype. Just do this live on Streamate, fuck it.
Yeah.
Right.
And just bear with us for today.
Yeah, everyone just jump in with your questions. No, I was going to ask you, though, do you feel like there's like a big difference between porn consumers for cam and like the adult film consumer? Are they different at all to you, as far as like even the amount of knowledge that they have about you, how invested they are in your day to day and your life?
They're not so invested in my day.
No?
No, they're not. But then again, it's like, it's not like I always tell them what's going on with my life. It's just, you know, when guys ask me on cam, oh, how are you doing? It's like the usual, oh, I'm good. Wanna play? You wanna feel good too?
Do you set pretty healthy boundaries? Because I know, like, I've seen the trends where, you know, even to the degree that people are like just so casually saying, oh yeah, I love you, you know, to their fans. And I feel like, you know, just in my own personal opinion, that can be a slippery slope. So do you maintain pretty healthy boundaries, do you feel, with you and your biggest fans?
Yes, I do. I mean, even in my personal life, it's not like I just say the words, I love you. just because.
Yes.
When I say I love you, like, I really mean I fucking love you. Whether that means, I care about you or I really am in love with you,
Yeah.
is something that I actually value. I'm not one of those people who just like to put it out there.
Yeah,
I appreciate my fans a lot. I would say that, but the word love it has a lot more of a stronger, intimate feeling to me.
Have you said
Personally.
I love you to any of your fans ever, or have they said I love you to you, like in that way,
Oh my god, Vanessa. I don't know. Oh my god, there's just so many guys who do say that. Even the guys who haven't even been in my room or who didn't even know that I'm Ember Snow in the porn industry say I love you, just because of all the. And I'm like, thank you. That's cute.
Yeah, that can be a little dangerous, and it's like I know we want to keep our fans, and and you want to share your appreciation and let them know that you care, but yeah, saying I love you is that's yeah that you gotta have boundaries.
Thank you.
It's okay, thank you so much. Okay, so if I'm a fan right now and I'm like, Ember, I love you so much, what do you say?
As a girl?
Yeah.
It's a girl. It's like, oh my god, really? You watch my stuff?
Oh, so there's
you lurk in my cam shows? And don't be shy next time.
So if you're on the receiving end and you find out it's a girl saying I love you, is that like a little different then? Is there a double standard between like the guy fan versus the girl fan?
Well, I still wouldn't say immediately I love you, but it would be like it would be like I really appreciate
There you go. That's a nice tactful way.
appreciate that because I feel like I don't have enough like female fans or if any at all, and if they're out there, please come forward. Like if you see me at like any of these adult conventions or guys, if you watch porn with your woman, please bring them because I want to meet you. Like,
well, you know how females can be like intimidating to other females, and so they might see you at the shows, but they're too intimidated or shy to come and talk to you.
Oh my god! Don't be, please. I mean, that's kind of hypocritical for me to say because there are times when I see like a cute or hot girl in public and I want to approach them, but it's kind of hard for me to do because I also feel intimidated, even though I know I shouldn't. But there's that shy side of me.
Yeah. Well, and I guess as a fellow female, like you're on the receiving end of that a lot of getting like hit on, so you kind of know it's just like
Oh
like
yeah, exactly. And I don't even know if that particular woman is into women as well.
Yeah. These days, I don't know.
It's kind of different. I'm sorry, fellas. It's kind of different when you hear a compliment from a woman. Like, if I don't know what to say, like, and I notice something that woman has that I really like, I would comment on that. But if that's coming from a guy, he would immediately know, like, oh my god, this guy just wants to get in my pants.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, but there are some guys who comment on, oh, nice shoes, and I'm wearing heels. And I'm like, you would wear these heels? Do you have a foot fetish?
You're in the know of everything. Like, being online, you get exposed to so many different types of fetishes and like just, people divulge their deepest fantasies to you. So taking that, like that whole cam life and all of that knowledge that you know now of how freaky people can be, like, do you take that with you in your day to day when you're just going to the grocery store?
I mean, I don't just take one look at a person and assume what they're into, but I do keep all of that in the back of my mind.
Yes.
Like if I were to meet somebody, yeah, those fetishes, man, those are already up there because I didn't really, believe it or not, I didn't really get into these fetishes until I was on Streamate. Like I started dabbing elsewhere, but when I moved to Streamate, like I didn't know what SPH was. Like I didn't know what JOI was or any of this stuff. I had to actually look them up because I didn't deal with these kinds of guys in those other campsites.
Yeah.
So finally knowing what they are, I was like, oh my god, yeah, it's interesting, especially those SPH guys.
Yeah.
Come here.
Is that what? Okay, so the very first SPH session that you had with somebody, was that intimidating for you? Because you have to come, you have to bring it, right? You got to be strong. You can't you have to be in a position of power, I suppose, even if you're going to do something like SPH. So was that intimidating for you, or did you hesitate, or did it come naturally to you?
I guess it came naturally. I guess it came naturally. I've done some dominatrix stuff in my film work. Okay. Not like not like from mainstream porn, but some clips that I've done.
Okay.
And so I've been exposed to being in that mindset. So even though I wasn't familiar with SPH, I could bring that out.
Yeah. I mean, just as long as they're getting off on it, right? And we're all having fun. But is it difficult for you for things that you're not familiar with, specific themes, and you are live on cam and you're live and everyone is watching you. So is that easy for you to improvise and kind of gain that mindset?
There are some stuff that I'm not too familiar with, like FinDom is so it's so vague, and there are different types of subs. So it's like I need to know, like even subs in general, like I need to know what you're into. The guys who say, "Oh, it's whatever you like," and I'm like. So I start doing something or saying something, and then they're like, "Oh no, not like that." So now when I get approached about something like that, I ask the guys, like, what specifically are you into? Because some guys just don't even want me to smile. They find it too cute, and they probably don't take me too seriously to be a dominatrix. So
yeah. But I can totally see, as a Filipina sister especially, how you can be like a little badass and bring the attitude if need be.
Oh yeah, if need be.
If need be. I want to segue into I thought it was very interesting that you are working on a project called Girlcrushes. So yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about what that is and what we can expect to see?
That is actually, I wanted this to be a series of videos where I hook up with the girls that I've been wanting to work with but haven't had the chance to. So that's why I called it Girlcrushes, because I have a crush on these girls. And so far, all of them are out, especially if you go on OnlyFans, on my OnlyFans and many bits. They should all be out there. Like the last one was Gina Valentina, and it's going to be on hiatus for a little bit because I need to get the money. And this was like my first time actually not only performing but directing and producing it, and it is actually a lot to take. Like, if there are any ladies out there who are really new and they want to direct and produce, good luck. It's a lot of work. Maybe better to start directing or producing first
Mm-hmm.
and see how that's like so that you can get a hang of it. Because I found it really difficult for me because I'm so used to just performing. Like, once the camera's on, I'm not even directing or producing. Like, I'm just performing and getting really into it, but that's me as a performer. So,
did you get? Oh, sorry.
And you want these products to look good, and you want these videos to look really good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If it's your name attached to it, of course, right?
Yeah. Like, I even started producing my own feature. We shot everything this month, so we're currently on post-production. Was hoping for it to be done by AVN, but I think that's not likely to happen. But maybe, get a trailer, get a trailer done first, so that people are going to see what else I have in store.
That is a lot to tackle on top of still performing. Do you have like someone that is giving you mentorship or guidance for like producing and directing and all of that? But or are you kind of just winging it at this point?
Both. Mostly me. Like, I'm discovering things and behind the cameras on my own too. Like, with the feature that I did, it's called Choice. I wasn't really the star in it. I had somebody else star in that feature because I wanted to be more involved with the behind the camera work.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so that I can actually focus.
Yeah. Well, and so for the Girl Crush series, you said that they were people that you wanted to work with. So were these people that you've just been watching over the years or even more recently, and you just reached out to them directly? How did that work?
Most of them were the ladies that I've been, stalking.
Well, that's really flattering. That's a great opening if you're going to approach anyone for work. I'd say.
I mean, I worked with at least Gina Valentina, but it was like a group scene, so we didn't really have like a one-on-one together. Excuse me. But with a few of those ladies, I was looking through the agency's roster, and I thought they were cute, so that's why I booked some of them. Like, one of them is like a porn virgin, or she's never been with a girl before, so that was really interesting to document.
You just took a
girl.
Yeah, opportunity. You saw that opportunity and you just slid right on in there.
Well, what's funny was I didn't find out that it was her very first one till that day.
Okay.
So I didn't know.
Did you have to kind of like, it was a little more hand holding, and because that's a whole different dynamic, right? Performing with someone else, let alone another woman. So did you kind of have to like guide her through that process?
Yeah, a little bit, and I hope she if she's watching this, I hope she remembers. So, like, my little tips, like, open up to the camera more, especially when you're with your face, because that's the most important thing. That's what the guys want to see, the woman's reaction, and even opening up with your coochies. Your hoo-has, they need to see all of that too.
Has a lot of that, like the staging involved with what you do on film, does that help you a lot for camming as well? Because I know, many people come into camming and they don't necessarily think about staging or even ambiance, and, they're just thinking like money, money, money. But, does that have a huge impact on the overall quality of your show?
Yeah, it does help. It does help me open up. I mean, I'm not always perfect. Like, there are certain positions that don't really flatter me, but I've done them. You would see a lot of folds.
Those are always the ones that they screenshot and like repost online too.
Oh my god!
It's like,
Well,
no.
it's not just in the camming, girl. Like it happens in the porn industry too. Unless the director, the photographer is very meticulous with that, then you're gonna see like tenfold. unless unless the performer really knows her angles, then yeah. Like I've been in the industry for almost 2 years, and I still make some rookie mistakes.
I feel like that still will continue though, like even years into your career though, right? You're just constantly learning new things about yourself and what makes you look good, essentially.
Oh yeah, and I try to watch my scenes. I try to watch them and see what else I can improve on. Like I didn't used to talk a lot in my scenes.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't used to talk a lot in my scenes, and I feel like, camming has helped me develop some kind of dirty talk, some kind. I'm not saying I'm proficient at it, but camming actually helps me do those kinds of dirty talks, especially because guys, when it comes to camming, it's just a one-on-one thing. Like I feel like it's a little more intimate than porn.
Right.
And you have to talk to the guy. You have to focus on the guy. And sometimes they even have some role plays. So it has helped me, especially when I need to do some VR scenes. That's when you really need to focus on the camera or the guy.
And the communication too. Man, there's so much. I don't think people really realize, even with camming, just how much juggling is involved. And you have a stream of people in your room, unless you're in an exclusive session, but you have a stream of people in your room and you're having to like pay attention to what all is going on. What are people saying? How do you find, like, what's the easiest, what is your method behind here? Because I know people want to know, they've seen you on Streamate. You're usually at the top of the ranks, especially with these contests, which have become a lot more like intense and cutthroat over the years.
Oh God, yeah.
So, like, what is your method here as far as
the group sessions?
The group sessions, and how do you approach camming in general?
Like with the group sessions, I usually focus on the first guy who takes me to private anyway.
Okay.
Because, or like if I do gold shows, whoever's the highest tipper, they're the ones that I focus on. And a lot of times when it comes to privates, there are some guys who do come in, but most of them don't talk.
Yeah.
or they're just wanting to look. And then when the first guy takes me to private and he has something specific that he wants to do, I usually suggest to take me to exclusive so that it's just, focused on that one guy because it's so specific.
Right.
But most of the time, like, I don't know if I should specify. But,
okay. Oh, is it a person?
There are guys who just want to see me do nothing.
Oh.
Or they just want to talk.
Oh,
so there are some guys who come into private and they want to play and they see me talking to the first guy, they kind of get it and they leave.
That's really interesting, actually, because it's like that one person can completely change the tone of your entire show and your entire room.
Oh yeah, like especially with some gold shows, like whoever's the highest tipper, I focus on them, and if the guy's being very demanding, it's kind of hard to like, because I'm not really a submissive girl. Yeah, if a guy is being very demanding, it's like, okay, please, and stuff like that. And then there was actually one time when a guy took that highest tipper space so that I can just focus on him instead because he's starting to notice that this guy is so demanding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So he like came to your rescue in that situation.
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you.
Otherwise, I mean, is it hard to regain control of your room after, one person? I know that this is a common thing too that a lot of people run into is if you have this one kind of outlandish member that is, overshadowing your entire show, what do you do in that situation? Like, I know that there is always the kick button, but I mean, that's not really something, especially if they're the highest tipper, you don't want to just reach for that. So what do you do in those situations?
If he's the highest tipper, I try to still be nice and just again, like, say please, come on, just please. I use that kind of method. I mean, I'm not being bitchy, but, I try to be as nice as possible, but if the guy doesn't get it.
Right.
Yeah, but I usually tolerate them in the gold shows, but if they continue to be, very demanding even after the gold show, then that's when I kick them out.
Right.
Especially in the douches, like because it's so weird. You usually get at least one douchebag who comes in the room and says the most random mean comments, and it's like that's really unnecessary. Bye, block.
Yeah, because that's messing everybody else up too. But
yeah, and I want to keep a positive attitude and give some positive vibes. Like I don't need any negativity in my room.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel like I can regain some control. Like even with privates or exclusives. Like I had one guy who just expected me to put something big in my pussy. And, I usually have a price for that. So when I told him that price, he just gave me the fucking finger. And I was like, okay, bye.
Yeah. It's like, this is all
sorry,
still...
I don't tolerate it. I don't know how other girls deal with it, but I don't tolerate that.
It's a slippery slope. Like, okay, we can be friendly and everything like that, but you still have to remember that there is like a transaction involved. And I think some people get so caught up in like, oh, it's nice chatting with you, or you're there and, you're... It's like they think you're at their disposal or something like that. But if they're going to ask for specific things, then they need to know that there is also something that's expected in exchange, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, and so sometimes the guys get so caught up in talking to me in the public room, and even one particular guy just wants to talk to me in the public room, and I'm like, I'm sorry, it's nice talking to you guys too, but I'm here to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's finding that balance, and you have to be like firm, I feel, with a lot of members, because they don't necessarily understand like how things work or what's going on. So if you communicate clearly, it should be okay, essentially. I've been meaning to ask you, just because, I mean, I'm a fellow Asian American woman, and I don't know if you've gotten this same sense, but specifically for like Filipino women, we're very like sexualized and fetishized, particularly by Caucasian men in the US. I don't know about elsewhere, but definitely I feel in the US. So, do you get that same sense, especially as being someone who is a performer in the adult industry? Do you get the feeling that that's like still a stereotype, and is it like intensified? Can you see it even more so because you have fans that like don't hesitate to like say what's on their mind?
Yes, I do. I even feel like sometimes that's what's holding me back.
Really?
To be performing more, because we're like a fetish. Being an Asian is a fetish.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, even being small is a fetish.
Yeah.
And the thing is that these guys, like some guys in the room, like they have a thing for Asians because they expect us to have like small holes.
I was going to say submissive, but that too, small. Is that the thing? Small holes? Is that the thing?
Well, it's not always the same for all Asians, like all Asian women. I mean, it is true for me. Like, yeah, especially when I warn my male partners in a scene. Like I told them, I'm just warning you, I'm really tight. Well, this was when I was starting. Can you please go? Just ease it in first.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like they were just like, yeah, sure, whatever. But once they actually put it in, it's like, holy shit, that's tight. And I'm like, I told you. I told you.
It's all those Kegels, girl. What are you doing over there?
No, I'm not doing anything in particular. Like, it's because it might be because I started exploring sex in a later age. Like, I didn't start fucking when I was a teenager. I actually waited. And I don't know. Like, I think that's a big part of it. That's why it's still really tight there. But I thought that...
we're getting woke over here. But, like, the way that Asian women are portrayed, even in adult films, like, that's kind of... It's keeping the stereotype going that it's like, yeah, we're just like these sexual creatures. And not to say that we're not, but it's like there's also more to that too, you know. But do you feel like that? And do you sometimes like play into that and like exacerbate that, exploit that?
Yeah, so going back to the Asian stereotypes, I have taken some roles where, like I have a lot of massage roles because, that's what they expect Asian women to do. Like, that was actually my first mainstream BG scene. I was just a masseuse, and it's like a secret camera. So, yes, I mean, I try to stay away from being submissive. And if I do have to be submissive, I want to be able to turn the tables around on the guy. Because, yeah, it's something to be expected, especially on an Asian woman, not just a woman.
Yeah.
You know, we're more expected to be really meek and soft-spoken. Yeah. And, like the good wife kind of role, who's just going to do whatever the fuck the man wants. But with me, I like being the aggressor.
Do you
like my scenes?
Are they like do you get like typecasted a lot in films?
Oh yeah, like I played a Japanese girl.
Oh, you did.
I played a Japanese girl. I represented Japan at some point. Even though I'm Filipino, but now it's like I don't really take offense because I bet they do it in Hollywood too. Oh, you're Asian? Just be like a Japanese or Chinese.
Right.
But the thing was that with us Filipinos, I feel like we kind of have that kind of Spanish blood into us. So there are certain times when we can look Latina.
Yeah.
So I feel like, as Filipinos, especially if you're a mixture of an Asian type, I feel like we can transcend into these stereotypes.
Yeah, girl.
Hopefully we can take back then. In the porn industry, take Asia Carrera or Koi Tai as examples. Like, they weren't seen as just, the Asian masseuse, the Asian, Japanese woman. They've taken some roles that, who are just, like girl next doors or detectives. They weren't labeled as just Asian. But the thing is, nowadays, I feel like that's what a lot of people are focusing on, the fetishes.
Yeah.
Are you into Asians? Are you into petite or MILFs? Or I think that's the reason why we're getting more stereotyped.
Have you caught on to which niche categories you fit into at this point as far as casting? And do you feel like you've got a good grip on maybe where you would land with all those different categories?
Kind of. Most likely being short.
Oh. I love it
that's
though.
the main one. They're like being short. Like I've had guys in the cam room ask me how short I really am, and I'm like, I'm 4'11", and they're like, really, you're 4'11"? And I'm like, yeah, watch this scene and this scene. I'm with a really tall guy. He's like 6 feet something. You'll be able to really tell how short I am.
So you make everyone just look huge then that you're working with, like particularly with males. Everyone just looks huge.
Oh yeah, and I think that's why they love it, because I make the dicks look huge too.
Yeah. Dang, you're like the hype man, you know? You're like the damn, his dick is huge. Are they really that huge though? I mean, can you most of the time?
I mean, I think the average porn dick is like at least 7 inches.
Okay.
So 7 inches, 7 to 8, but even 8 is like really big to me. Like I even worked with a guy who was 7 inches, but it's like a soda can thick. So that's big. I mean, to me, that's fucking big.
That's huge. Yeah, I don't care how long it is. If it's the girth, like the circumference of a soda can.
Girl, yeah, me too.
Oh God. Are you doing, so you're transcending into anal scenes as well, right? You do anal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I started doing anal, I think it was October of last year, but the scene got released in November.
Okay.
So I started doing more anal scenes, and it's really fun.
Yeah?
Like, I actually like it more than vaginal, because with vaginal, yeah, these guys are too big for me. Like, they're big to me. I know I can, like, give birth there, but I haven't had that happen yet. Sorry. So, I get sore afterwards.
Yeah.
But anal, it feels good.
Yeah.
Well, a real dick feels good.
So that's easy. Is it easier for you then to do anal right now versus like vaginal work?
Yes. The only thing with anal is it's a lot of preparation.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the only thing. Like, I can't do it spontaneously. It has to be fucking planned, or, you know, it would take forever to clean. With vaginal, at least you can just slip it right in. But
Right.
unless you're big, then good luck.
We are learning so much here today with you. Oh my goodness.
That's what you wanted.
I know. No, totally. Are you kidding me? This is awesome. Like the people in your life, your personal life, do they all know like where your career is right now, and what, like, have you told them that you're legal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they know. They found out. Like,
oh, they did.
They found. I didn't get the chance to tell them myself. They just found out on their own. Like, it wasn't even. I think it was my first year actually that they found out. So it was a complete shock. Like how because they found out this way. When my male cousins in the Philippines found out. Not even someone in U.S. Someone in the Philippines found out.
Yeah.
Like, he found one of my scenes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so yeah, it just went up the family tree until I got up to my family.
Do you have a big family?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, I don't think all of them know, but I wouldn't be surprised if so-and-so told the other person, the other person, the other person,
Yeah,
because that's how it's spread.
You know how the aunties talk? They all talk.
Oh my God, aunties. Yes, they all talk.
Has that caused any kind of like alienation at all? Because especially for like more traditional families, and there's like a lot of religion and just the Asian families tend to be in general a lot more conservative, especially with the older generation. So has that caused any kind of alienation between you and those family members?
I don't even know how to describe it. Yeah. Like, I know they don't support what I do. I know they don't support it. Mm-hmm. Yes, this is getting a touchy-feely subject, but I'm telling you anyways. I don't know how many is watching this, but yeah, I don't know how to describe it. I know they don't support it, but as soon as they see money involved, then that's where they're like, oh, awesome.
Yeah.
You know, like my mother passed away in September, and you know, we've had some family members, like particularly aunties, who were able to make it here in U.S. to make it to the burial, and yeah, they don't support what I do, but that responsibility of burying my mother was all put on me, and it was really hard because they had a lot of expectations, and they kind of blamed me for my mother's death because I wasn't really getting along with her, and my family is really poor, and one of the reasons that I got into this industry is so that I can eventually help them, but my aunties were not seeing that. Like, oh, what investments are you making anyway, or are you doing? Like, you left your family in this poor whatever, and look at what happened to your mother. And I'm like, I don't know how many times I explained it to them. Like, I'm trying to do what I can to not only do this for my future, but also get to the point where I can help my family too. Like, I do whatever I can. I'm trying to do whatever I can. So it was really hard. Like, it was so hard. Like, I already lost a mother, and they're throwing this shit at me. It was fucking hard.
Right, yeah. Like, that whole... I totally get it. I totally get it in terms of also how our culture can be, and we, you know, it can be stubborn, and it... But, no, like, you do know that that has nothing to do with you, right? That is all them.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that I'm doing.
And I
just embrace my sexuality more.
Yeah.
And I try to encourage other women or empower other women that, you know, this isn't abuse. Yeah. Like, I'm not being trafficked or
well, yeah, you're coming into this with, it sounds like, you know, a very clear objective of like what you want, and you know, clear mindset, and you have goals, and you're meeting some of these goals, and so I think it's amazing. So, you know, that's like a path that I feel so many people walk regardless of what culture that they're in, and so that's really awesome of you to even just share that too. So
yeah, I was gonna be a nurse.
You were? Oh, you'd be a nurse. Your mother would be so proud.
But I can't deal with blood, or, you know, watching people get sick and die. Like, my heart can't take it.
Yeah.
Especially if you get attached to a patient, like, you really care about a patient. Like, I can't. You know, it's really sad.
Were you going to school for that before? Like, were you thinking about getting into the medical field then eventually?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Like, I wanted to be a pediatric nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
But I thought that maybe if I deal with kids or the babies, that would be so much more happier. But I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't mean they can't get sick or they can't die.
Right.
You know? So I'm just like, I can't. I can't do it. I finished my prerequisites for nursing, but at the same time that I was doing those last prerequisites, I was also in performing arts school. Like, I was doing some modeling and acting work, and balancing those two were hard. Oh, it was hard, but I found out that acting and modeling was much more fun. So I was like, I don't want to learn about germs. I don't want to learn about sex.
Although I'm sure it comes in very handy whenever you are doing anal prep, though. So.
Oh my God, no. I'm not. Like, I learned some things in the porn industry that I didn't learn in the medical fucking subjects. They didn't tell us how to clean our assholes. If you want to do anal.
I feel like that's like, content coming up, like a special clip in the future or something like that,
How to clean your ass.
Instructional. So give us a snapshot of what you have planned for the next year. We're in a new year, 2019. So what are some of your goals for the year ahead?
Hopefully more exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully working with more big companies. But that's not really my decision. Because there are still some bigger companies that I haven't worked with that I really want to. So hopefully, I'll be on the radar eventually.
Yeah. Does networking have a lot to do with that? With, just exposure aside, like networking with the right people? Or is it basically up to like your agent at this point and the work that you book through your agent?
I thought so. I thought networking would help a lot, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think I am at the mercy of my agents right now.
Okay. You are signed with Kendra Lust and Society 15. So has that, have you noticed, that making a difference in your career trajectory at this point?
They have helped me a lot. That's for sure. Because I didn't start with them. And I felt like they have helped me get into these other companies. So, yes, it has helped. It has helped. Plenty.
Well, I appreciate you so much for taking the time to talk with me and with Streamate today for this episode of Private Sessions. So if you wouldn't mind giving us some plugs on where everybody can find you, including your Streamate live cam shows.
Oh my god, there's a whole list of it. Like, you can start by finding me on Twitter. It's Ember Snow XXX. There's going to be a pin tweet of everything there, including, Instagram. It's official Ember Snow. And then you can also find me on Sex Panther. Yes, that exists. So if you want to text me or call me, you're too shy to show your face, you can find me there. And there is Streamate, so if you're not shy, and I'm on there like almost every day. Yeah, if you want to show your cock. I rate cocks too. You can just look up Ember Snow. And yes, please go on OnlyFans and ManyVids. OnlyFans is more like a BTS kind of situation, but I also post some stuff there that I've self-produced, like some videos. But the best clip site that you're going to what am I trying to say? The best clip site is going to be like ManyVids. Okay. I want clips and clips for sale, but I'm still trying to build clips for sale. But go on ManyVids.
Man, you got your hands full, girl. Even with social media and all of that, that's a lot to maintain. Do you do it all on your own at this point, or do you have some?
I have an assistant now. Like I have an assistant who deals with like the emails at least.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, because it's hard. There's like so many social media. Like with Snapchat too, I have Fan Central there. It's so hard. There's so many social media. It's not even funny. Like I haven't posted it on Instagram for a while now. Like I was so hesitant to get an Instagram because of so many fucking social media, but then I got some fake accounts there, so I was like, okay, you guys leave me no choice. You're following this bitch.
Amber, I appreciate you so much, girl. I saw your signing schedule anyways for next week, so I will be sure to stop by wherever you happen to be. Yeah, I'll be around particularly on Thursday, so I'll come find you. All right, girl. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and it was so lovely to get to know a little bit more about you too. All right, have a good one.
You too. See you.
Bye.